David the Dragon. Hi, I'm David the Dragon. I'm best of friends with Little Ricky. You read about me in the story. I'm over 5,000 years old. I'm still young at heart. You see, I take care of myself. Where I come from, the British Isles, the dragons really didn't have any common sense. You could say common sense is uncommon. Where I come from, the dragons didn't exercise or eat good foods. They partied all throughout the night. To be frank, they didn't have a clue about universal laws. They were only interested in acquiring stolen treasure and fighting. Boy, what kind of existence is that? When we flew from the west to the east, our entire lifestyle changed for the better. We started to take a look at how to make a better life for the dragons. As you see, only young dragons came with us. The rest were stuck in their old ways. Quite frankly, they had no desire to change. They liked misery. Well, we decided to have a grand adventure. We learned how to meditate in Zoran, and the rest is history. We learned very young that life is an external and internal adventure. Bet you nobody told you that. We came to a point where we could see energy all around us and in us, that there was a block over time. Disease would take place. You see, in the bodies of humans and dragons lie a vast number of rivers and streams. In a healthy body, these rivers and streams are flowing properly. But the more ones have a life out of balance, these rivers and streams get clogged up and don't flow properly. The water over time becomes stagnant and mosquitoes can fester. This is where disease manifests. Here's an example of anger. When a person is always angry, this blocks the rivers and streams inside the body. Over time, the body becomes angry and can fight against itself. You call this cancer. Cancer is angry cells. We discovered a long time ago that by using needles at a certain point on the body, we can begin to block the rivers and streams. Yet the acupuncturist can help to unblock these dams. Yet it's up to you to change, modify, and learn how to be healthy. In the West, you go to a doctor and take the medicine. Your symptoms go away. Your drugs have side effects. The patient takes no responsibility. No wonder your system is messed up. A wise person begins to listen within and change accordingly. This person realizes that proper rest is the key. In the West, sleep and rest is sort of a nuisance. They don't have the understanding of how important it is. In order for the body to heal and repair, it needs rest. Period. We live such a fast pace, we have forgotten why we need sleep and rest in the first place. The acupuncture during this time had an easy job. He knew how to break the dam and let the waters flow properly. He might give some healing herbs to the child. The child understood completely that the acupuncturist could only assist so far in the process. She knew that it was up to her to follow through and live day by day the natural laws of life. You see, their culture was understanding and practicing every moment these natural laws. Unfortunately, in our world, today's man has lost touch with his true nature. Consequently, disease is quite common. Our herbs that are given out are organic and have no side effects. They are extremely beneficial in helping the body to balance. Your Western medicine has extreme side effects and can cause death. Listen to the commercials today and you will hear a lovely voice telling all the side effects that drugs have. They are concerned to make a profit. That is the bottom line. No, kids, listen to this story. Only your generation can change this wacky system. You can look at different and natural ways. You can see chemicals are released effective ways for healing. Their scientists know about energy, but at the present moment, only a few doctors are researching about the power of energy. This is where acupuncture comes in. In the future, there will be myriads of different discoveries and inventions. The more a society becomes more aware, the more the discoveries can occur. You see, only in an open society can change occur for the better. These new discoveries can be used for good, or they can be a complete disaster. The nuclear bomb is a prime example. The genie got loose, and now the world is trying to find out how to rein in the genie. You see, your world has a lot to learn. Imagine most of the world is looking externally, but the jewel lies within. You need a balance between the external and internal. Millions of people are waking up to this fact. At a certain point in time, when humanity truly understands this, your inventions will be so-called a miracle in life. In fact, they aren't miracles in life, but your understanding is at a different level. Your cell phone would be considered a gift from God 500 years ago. I bet each one of you kids knows how to operate one. You have no problems with that. In the same way, the more you understand the laws of the universe, more incredible inventions will come your way. Nature wants to give her incredible gifts, but you have to be in sync to receive them. Anger, war, and greed will never be the way to discover these gifts. For thousands of years, war is not the answer. It has never solved anything, and never will. Only the kids can truly change for the better. Hopefully, you will listen to this story and remember your generation can change for the better. The seeds have been planted many millions of years ago. You can be the fruit that can change this world. Remember, you are never alone. Someday you will realize this. You will see that all of humanity and the dragons are in the same boat together. You are the universe. You just don't know it.
Monitoring your thoughts and emotions. As you know, by now we live 95% from the subconscious and 5% from the conscious mind. Most human beings never stop to see the correlation between the mind and body. Many scientists say they are one and the same. They are not distinct and different. imagine someone pisses you off. That thought creates a chemical in your brain. Cortisol gets released. Stress hormones gets released. Over 1900 chemicals gets released. You are now in an emotional state of anger. This anger gets stored in your body. Many scientists say that cancer is created by angry cells. Most of the time, we have automatic tapes from the past in any given situation. Because we are reactive beings, we are like leaves blowing in the wind. We never stop and think before we perform an action. Many people Twitter without thinking. So the goal is to rewire our circuits. When someone makes us angry, stop in your tracks. Focus on your breath. Imagine an infinite field of peace surrounding you. By the way, it does, 24 hours a day. This is your true nature. Smile and don't say a thing. When you have your composure back, speak from kindness. Mind you, this is extremely difficult to do. Here's some advice for you on this journey. Write down all the areas that have caused great trauma in your life. Many times, the great trauma never gets processed properly. It is stored in our subconscious. The greater the trauma, the greater the emotional impact. Unfortunately, so many people hold on to the past. An event may happen over 30 years ago, and we still hold on for dear life. We still hold a grudge and are angry towards that one person. We need to learn and forgive. We need to let go of that emotion. In the last 30 years, much insight has been in the relationship between the mind and body. There are many different techniques out there to heal and release our emotional scars. Here's one I like. Emotional Freedom Technique. It's a self-help technique that involves tapping near the endpoints of energy meridians located around the body. EFT works by lowering cortisol levels and the body's stress response because it helps to promote relaxation. Imagine you have some anger issue. The first step is to identify the issue. In order for this to work, you need to identify the issue. Makes sense? Step 2. From a scale of lowest 1 to highest 10, what is the intensity? What is the intensity of your emotional or physical pain? Step 3. In this state, one acknowledges the issue and accepting yourself despite the problem. We're going to use anger as our problem. The common setup phrase is, even though I have this problem, I deeply and completely accept myself. The common setup phrase is, even though I have this anger issue, I deeply and completely accept myself. Step 4. This is the tapping phrase. Begin by tapping the karate chop point while simultaneously reciting your setup phrase. You may do this for around 30 seconds to 1 minute. Concentrate on your breath as you do this. The calmer you get, the better results you will have. Karate chop, small intestine meridian. Now, for each one of these meridian points, use a reminder phrase. Suppose you have an anger issue. You would then recite in your mind anger while tapping at these points below. Tap for around 30 seconds at each meridian point. At the eyebrow, bladder meridian. Side of the eye, gallbladder meridian. Under the eye, stomach meridian. Under the nose, governing vessel. Chin, central vessel. Beginning of the collarbone, kidney meridian. Under the arm, spleen meridian. Top of head, governing vessel. When you finish, rate the intensity level. Say that your initial rate was a 9. You rate it now at a 5. Repeat this process until you reach the zero. Mind you, some problems will take time to reach a zero. The greater you take responsibility for your thoughts and actions, the greater results you will have. To find all these meridian points, do a Google search for tapping, and you should be able to see exactly where these points are. Alright, well, that's it. Thank you. Mind movies. The definition of a guru is one who takes you from darkness into the light. A rugu is one who takes you from light into darkness. If there is a rugu today, it is the medical commercials on TV. There is a time when they didn't allow drug commercials on TV. That's a long time ago. I won't call it sinister. Okay, I will. The commercial industry has been very effective to program the subconscious. They have used the medium of TV to program your mind and body. They are extremely clever, know exactly what they are doing. In the 50s, when a movie was being showed, subliminal messages would be displayed on the screen, such as buy popcorn or buy a Coke. It would appear so fast your conscious mind wouldn't see it, but your subconscious mind would. This is bad when the FCC figured that out. Well, they have gotten quite sophisticated. Today's drug commercials directly go into your subconscious mind. Imagine some of these same commercials are played over and over again in the evening news. They're slowly brainwashing people without the audience even knowing it. Have you ever wondered why America is so messed up? I could go on for hours. Many of these drug commercials are directly programming you to get sick so you can take their drugs. It is insidious and evil, yet it is done in such a soft voice, and nature is all around it. It's sad. They know exactly what they are doing. As a capitalist society, they're there solely to make a buck. They want you to get sick. They don't want you to be healthy and take responsibility for your well-being. There's a company called Mind Movies who uses the same technology as the drug commercials, yet it's used to bring you from darkness to light. Check out mindmovies.com. Dr. Joe Dispenza made a mind movie for connecting to the quantum field. It is absolutely genius. I highly recommend it. It should be played before going to bed and upon waking up. I play it right before I close my eyes to meditate. The more you play it over time, the mind, body, and soul rejoices in the words. There are words and pictures displayed. Both of them work to put the message into your subconscious. As you know, we need to rewire ourselves. Humanity is living in darkness and needs to embrace the light. Mind movies are a way to program the subconscious in order to help discover our true nature.
Whatever you focus on, you eventually become. If you want to be a surfer, you first paddle out on a small day. Maybe some people paddle out their first time on a huge day. I wouldn't advise it. Anyway, at first it's real difficult just learning to paddle the darn board, much less catch a wave. Timing is everything. If you're too late, you will go over the falls, which really hurts. If you don't pass fast enough, you won't catch the wave. What really hurts is when you don't paddle fast enough. The wave can decide that you're going anyway. That is when you learn a major lesson. Anyway, over time, you'll learn how to surf. Years later, you're a surfer. It is a part of your life. Whatever you focus on, you eventually become. If you want to be anything in this world, you must focus on it. Nothing doesn't come overnight. Some things take longer than another does. For time immemorial, man has sought the mysteries of life. Those who focus their life on it eventually become it. In that state, they have nothing to prove. They will act like a child. If someone tells them they're wrong, they will just smile. We can all be in that state. Remember, whatever you focus on, you eventually become. The secret lies inside of you and me.
Balance. Balance is the key to life. Balance is the key to surfing. When a surfer takes off on a huge wave, and the winds are blowing offshore, and the spray is so intense, you can't see anything. In this situation, one must use intuition and balance to make the wave. If your balance is slightly off, you will probably most certainly wipe out. One must be able to be in perfect balance with your eyes open and eyes closed. This takes time, patience, and effort. Many surfers only care about the external, but surfing is a combination of the internal and the external. In my eyes, I would say the internal is more important than the external. All of your limitations exist in the internal. 95% of our actions are driven by the subconscious mind. That means only 5% is conscious. Surfing is the same. You want your body to be in balance with nature. It doesn't matter if your eyes are closed or open. I remember as a kid doing hatha yoga and going surfing. At times, on a steep takeoff, I would just have one foot on the surfboard. Yet, due to my yoga practice, I could easily stand on the surfboard with one leg. Many surfers, if they don't have 2 feet standing firmly on the surfboard, would fall off. The world of high-performance surfing is changing dramatically. Many different systems are being
developed and created. I'm sure that Kai and his crew has devised ways to improve balance in one's life. The doubts and the great mysteries of old talk about the importance of being in balance. Balance is the key in life. Unfortunately, the world is out of balance. What is the truth is considered fiction. What is fiction is considered truth. Once again, we must dial into the frequency of balance within ourselves. There are many ways of doing this. One was to find his way. A particular food may be medicine for you, yet for someone else it could be a poison. We all have different chemistry sets. To balance your inner chemistry, each one of us is configured differently. The principle remains the same. One must learn how to balance the internal chemistry set within. Balance is the key to fine-tuning the guitar of life. As I get older, I see events that occurred over 50 years ago become precious fruit trees in my life. 50 years later, many seeds were planted 50 years later. 50 years ago, later, many of the seeds are now fruit trees. As we get older, we are continuously fine-tuning the guitar of life. Balance teaches us in each and every moment to morph and to change. Nothing is consistent. Everything changes, and I mean everything changes. One must realize that this life is precious, and someday this human body will go back to its source. Wipeouts and the art of surrender. I have never met a surfer who has never wiped out. I would say that would be an impossibility. Everyone gets curveballs thrown at them. This is how we learn and grow in life. The surfer learns how to deal with the wipeouts. He trains extensively to survive them. The training pays off. At times we think that it's an impossibility. Wipeouts teach us to surrender. If one wave could light New York City for an entire month, do you think with your little struggles you can come to the surface when you're on your own? The ocean will tell you when it is time to rise to the surface. In the meantime, just surrender and relax. Relaxation is the key. Otherwise, precious oxygen will be used. In my eyes, most surfers in this predicament should be like the mystics of old. Imagine being able through your breathing to hold your breath for an hour. The great mystics could do this many more hours. With this mindset and experience, one can imagine how big of a wave could a surfer take. Interesting question. It would take big wave surfing to a higher level. Most surfers learn when their body is to be a huge washing machine, that they must surrender. One must let go. If you can't and you start to struggle, this is not a good practice to have. In the same way, when curveballs are thrown at you in our daily life, we must be like the mystics of old. The mystics of old simply smiled at life He knows that there are high tides and low tides. One must not get caught up in the riptide of life. The great mystics know to dive deep into the infinite ocean that lies inside. In that state of awareness, there are no high tides and low tides. There's no duality. There's a natural state of mind. Unfortunately, we have lost our ways. We take a molehill and make it to be a huge mountain to overcome. We try to control events in our life. When one does this, one will be disappointed. Life cannot be controlled. One must learn how to be in a state of surrender. Whatever happens, happens for good. I first heard this in India many moons ago. A time when the situation occurred, I wouldn't understand this. But years later, one has the insight to thank the universe. Thank God I didn't go down that path. Thank God I didn't make that horrible decision. There's a phrase I learned many years ago, and it goes like this. What you need, you don't want. What you want, you don't need. This kind of sums up the human experience today. The world is in chaos. What we think we want is what we need. What we need, we don't want. To understand this riddle, one must understand how to surrender to life within. My philosophy in life is 2 steps forward and 1 step backward. This is how we learn and grow. Our mistakes are building blocks for a better future. I've been a software engineer for over 35 years. I have never seen a program that has no bugs in it. The software engineer creates bugs without knowing it and then has to track them down. Eventually, the software will work as intended, yet bugs will still be there. This is how life is. The external world is a mixture of light and the dark. If there was always day and no night, this world wouldn't be around for long. Darkness and light are needed to survive. Yet darkness is only the absence of light. Have you ever tried to go to sleep in a room that has blaring lights on? You would think that lights would help one to go to sleep. With darkness, the mind and body automatically will go to sleep. You can't force the body to go to sleep. One must surrender to sleep to go to sleep. The sleep of a mystic is completely different from the sleep of someone who has insomnia. For one who has insomnia, the mind is constantly rattling. It's like a faucet of adrenaline and not being able to turn it off. The mystics of old would simply put their head on their pillow and gently doze off into sleep. One person is fighting for life, and the other person is surrendering to life. A wise surfer becomes a wise surfer when he discovers the key to a wipeout and life is to surrender. A surfer learns to surrender after many wipeouts and sees that struggle will go nowhere. Struggle is like the downfall for a person when they get held down on a big day. The ocean will teach a surfer many viable lessons about life. These lessons should be learned and morphed into one's daily activities. This should be the goal of a surfer. One recognizes the ocean is telling us a sweet story, and at the same time a story so powerful that it sends shivers up and down our spine. There are many different moods in the ocean of life. The further a person can dive within, one understands that the ocean is pure love. The deeper you go, the deeper your experience of the power of love inside. Most of us live on the surface level. At that level, we get caught up in the riptides of life. We need lifeguards to save us. We are like the tourists who go to the North Shore and stand too close to the shore on a big day. I wouldn't recommend it. When this happens, I can almost guarantee you that within minutes, a lifeguard will be needed to assist in rescuing them. Knowledge and wisdom are needed in this life.
November 28th, 2020. 40 days, 40 nights. This life is an incredible journey. Many of you know that I am extremely inquisitive. Somehow, I see the world through different eyes. For example, when I was around 14 years old, I believed in preventative medicine. I knew that drugs only hid the symptoms, yet the disease got more acute. I knew that the entire universe lies inside of you and me. Anyway, I'm always fine-tuning the guitar of life. About 6 months ago, I wrote a book on nonviolence. This book was about the Jains and the incredible knowledge they have. Well, one thing led to another. I'm just finishing a 40-day course on practical tools to fine-tune your guitar in life. Let's face it, everyone needs to tune up. Some know it and some don't. You can never clap your hands and say, I know it all. You can meditate for 1 trillion years, and still, that's the first step on this infinite journey in life. Here's a flyer for the course that I'm almost finished with. Mind you, this is an incredible journey. The course just gives you practical knowledge to utilize. It's up to you to take proper actions. This course is for you to learn how to be in harmony with your mind, body, and soul connection. The East has been discovering this for thousands of years. You are a part of Mother Earth, yet we live our lives divorced from it. Consequently, our lives are out of balance. We can't see the forest from the trees. Yesterday, over 180,000 Americans got the COVID-19 virus. People are still fighting over whether we should wear a mask or not. We have lost our wisdom. We have an administration where they have no concrete plan to solve this desperate situation. This course teaches you that you are your own doctor. You control your chemistry set in life. I mean this literally. We live our lives driven by our subconscious mind. 95% of our actions spring from our subconscious. Only 5% comes from our conscious mind. Did you know that anger is drinking your own poison? Buddha said this thousands of years ago. In the past 30 years, the Western scientists have discovered what the ancients said thousands of years ago are indeed true. Your thoughts and emotions program your life. This course provides practical tools for you to utilize in your everyday life. To be honest, I was overwhelmed by the number of tools provided. Even if a person practically uses only 5%, they will go a long way for self-healing and discovering their true nature. Here are a few things I learned. Did you know that you should chew your water and drink your food? Did you know that the majority of digestion comes from your mouth? Do you know the power of your saliva? Your body is an electrical system. Using mudras, hand gestures, one can turn off and on key components inside of you. You can literally learn how to rewire your neural networks inside of you. Mind you, recently a brand new science is being brought to the forefront using many of these ancient tools. Discover the world of prana, life force energy. I've been doing this for around 50 years. In this seminar, I learned more techniques. Prana is the life force energy of the universe. It exists inside of you. For the past 4 years, I've been meditating on my chakras. You may roll your eyes as much as you want, but chakras regulate your entire endocrine system. We are living our lives with the car being out of alignment. The spark plugs don't work properly. We put the wrong gasoline into our precious car. We constantly change lanes in the freeway of life. Our minds are out of control. We think the world can make us happy. How do we balance life? Meditation is the key to unlock the door within. True meditation should be 24 hours a day. That is the beginning state. Yet it all begins by taking small baby steps in each and every moment. I've been practicing yoga postures for around 50 years. I've gained much wisdom on the practical effects on the entire human body. Each posture has different correlations to different parts of the body. When those bodies relax, the mind is relaxed. Your emotions are stored in your physical body. Practicing yoga will help release these emotions and heal the body from many diseases. The diseases occur when the body is not at ease. This course touched on the powerful effects of acupressure. Points on the hand and feet turn on and off the electrical currents inside. Each point corresponds to a particular endocrine system, organs, or many different aspects inside of you. The more aware and conscious you are, the more this will benefit you. This course is all about awareness. Awareness is the key in life. Many different types of diseases were talked about. The East has many preventative measures to heal the body. To heal any disease, there must be a mind, body, and soul connection. One must learn how to be in harmony with nature. Nature is always talking to us silently, yet we only listen to our thoughts. We can't stop the chattering mind. The more you pay attention to nature, the more nature will pay attention to you. That's the law of free will. We learned about seed therapy. Particular plant seeds, when used in alignment with acupressure, promotes the healing of disease. Each seed contains the wisdom of Mother Earth.
The ancients learned which seeds help with particular diseases. Mother Nature is a true pharmacy. She knows exactly what can heal us. Much emphasis was placed upon the foods we eat. In the West, most people eat junk food diets and wonder why their bodies break down and get disease. They drink tons of sodas. I have a friend who I work with, and he drank nothing but soda all day long. He used to smoke over 2 packs of cigarettes a day. Common sense is uncommon. One who is on the path of awareness realizes that this human body is the most precious temple in the universe. One learns how to take care of it. I've never seen anybody trade it in for a new one while alive. Most teachers love to teach. I can see that. This is a practical course. It came from a university, yet this is a life course. Only you can change. Nobody can do it for you. There's a new course coming up in early December. It's only $25 for the entire session. These are Zoom sessions. My only recommendations to the teachers are please speak only English. I spent about 50 years in the Indian cultures, yet I got lost with the Indian terms. For example, when discussing the disease, you would use the Indian terms for the remedy. You might say 4 or 5 of them. Quite frankly, I got totally lost. Yes, we are all fine-tuning the guitar of life. I would recommend this course to anyone. Teachers, Brahmology and Prayology. Both of these teachers have incredible wisdom to share, and both of them had some sort of life-altering event which led them to discover the path of wholeness. This course wasn't only about theory. We all participated in learning yoga postures. Mind you, I've been doing this for almost 50 years, yet I learned so much. This is their life. They teach this knowledge, they breathe this knowledge, and most important, they practice this knowledge. Note the word practice. Without practicing what you learn, one is like a parrot, just mumbling words. With this course, I'm fine-tuning my life. Life always changes and morphs. The wise one understands this and changes accordingly. Up until this point, before taking this course, my knowledge came from doing research. This led me a first-hand perspective to see the world through their eyes. It was a beautiful feeling to see that we both have the same perception of life. You are your own drugstore. You are your own doctor. I discovered this in my teen years. Both of these teachers have kindness and wisdom. At times, we would be performing a yoga posture, and someone would ask a question through chat. Both teachers would kindly answer the question. My personal advice is this course can take you places that you can't even imagine for your health. Common sense is uncommon. The world at large is divorced from nature. Our lifestyles go against nature. No wonder disease is rampant all around the world. A wise soul is one who learns to live in harmony with nature and discovers the jewel within. This course will give you the tools so you may implement them. You are given the shovel of knowledge, yet you must dig the hole and discover the jewel inside you.
Pranayama. Alternate nostril breathing. One form of pranayama. Pranayama is the control of the breath, from the Sanskrit prana, breath, and amana, restraint. After a desired posture has been achieved, the verses recommend pranayama, the practice of consciously regulating the breath inhalation, the full pause, exhalation, and the empty pause. This is done in several ways, such as by inhaling and then suspending exhalation for a period, exhaling and then suspending inhalation for a period, by slowing the inhalation and exhalation, or by consciously changing the timing and length of the breath, deep, short breathing. Most Westerners don't breathe properly. Just think, the moment we take our first breath to the moment we take our last breath, there is a power that is keeping us alive. Yet the majority of mankind is not aware of it. In fact, we are completely oblivious to it. Due to the stress in our life, we have forgotten how to breathe properly. If you want to observe incredible breathing, watch a newborn. They naturally practice deep or diaphragmatic breathing by using the diaphragm, a muscle under the lungs, to pull air into the lungs. Visually, you see the belly expand and chest rise as they inhale through the nose and into the lungs. As they exhale, the belly contracts. For many people, this kind of breathing is no longer instinctive. Instead, many of us have become shallow chest or thoracic breathers, inhaling through our mouths, holding our breath and taking in less air. Over time, our breathing patterns have shifted as a reaction to environmental stressors like temperature, pollution, noise, and other kinds of anxiety. Cultural expectations, including the desire to have a flat stomach, encourage holding our breath and sucking in our stomachs, further tighten our muscles. When we breathe in a shallow way, the body remains in a cyclical state of stress. Our stress causing shallow breathing, and our shallow breathing causing stress. This sets off the sympathetic nervous system, the branch of the autonomic nervous system that prides us for activity and response. Shallow breathing doesn't just make stress a response. It makes stress a habit our bodies and therefore our minds are locked into, says John Lockvich, an apprentice and integrative breathwork facilitator in Brooklyn, New York. My personal advice before one begins this practice is to, before you begin, to make sure you are breathing properly. If you're still breathing through your chest or your mouth, spend 3 weeks learning how to breathe properly. I would advise anyone to spend 3 weeks meditating and focusing on their breath. Do this from this moment on. This is the key to life. Without this, your practice won't take you far. There is a power that is keeping you alive. Behind your breath lies the keys to life. So what does this breathing exercises do? There are 72,000 nadis, or energy channels, in the human body. The following is a passage from Sadhguru. Sadhguru, within the spine, if you know its physical construction, you will know there are 2 holes on either side of the spine, which are like conduit pipes for all the nerves to pass. This is the Ida and the Pingala, the left and right channels. In the Prana Mashkoshka, or the energy body, there are 72,000 nadis. The 72,000 nadis spring from three basic nadis: the left, the right, and the central, the Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna. The word nadi does not mean nerve. Nadis are pathways or channels of prana in the system. These 72,000 nadis don't have a physical manifestation. In this sense, if you cut your body and look in, you would not find them. But as you become more aware, you will notice the energy is not moving at random. It is moving in established pathways. There are 72,000 different ways in which the energy or prana moves. The Pingala is the right or masculine energy channel. The Ida is the left or feminine energy channel. Starting from the left nostril, there are 36,000 nadis or energy channels. Starting from the right nostril, there are 36,000 nadis or energy channels. Pranayama is a breathing exercise that cleanses the Ida and the Pingala. This exercise will help balance the mind and body. When the breath gets calm, the mind and body will get calm. One begins to enter into a state of calmness and being in harmony with the mind, body, and soul connection. How to do alternate nostril breathing. Sit in a comfortable position with the spine long and the hips relaxed. Release any tension from your jaw. Close your eyes. Place your left hand on your left knee with the palm face upward, or in the chin mudra by pressing the index finger and thumb together. Place the tip of the index finger and middle finger of the right hand in between the eyebrows with the ring finger and little fingers on the left nostril, and the thumb on the right nostril. Use the ring finger and little finger to open and close the left nostril, and use the thumb for the right nostril. On an exhalation, close the right nostril with your thumb and breathe out through the left nostril. Breathe in through the left nostril and then close with the ring finger. Release the thumb on the right nostril and breathe out through the right nostril. Inhale through the right nostril. Close with the thumb. Release the ring finger from the left side and exhale through the left nostril. These two full breaths are called one round of alternate nostril breath. Perform 5 to 9 rounds of this alternating breath between the nostrils. Remember to always inhale through the same nostril you just exhaled through. There are many variations of this technique. Some hold their breath between breaths. Mind you should never use force. Breathe naturally. Over time, the breath will be sweet and calm.
Asanas. In our busy world, we don't listen to our bodies in nature. Most of us are stiff as a board. Consequently, we can't bend like a flower in a breeze. The wise masters of the past learned how to enter into the world of silence. They became one with nature and the universe. The more attention you pay to your true nature, the more attention it pays to you. Practicing asanas or postures is a way to bring complete harmony to your life. One must be aware. At first, it's just physical. Over time, one sees and feels that these postures blend the mind, body, and soul connection. One senses and feels that the human body is more quantum than physical. This is a practical experience. I learned at a young age to close my eyes when doing a posture. Mind you, not 100% of the time. Yet by closing your eyes and spending time on a posture, one goes deeper and deeper. Your meditation practice and asanas go hand in hand. The more one opens up the door within, the easier the postures become. Likewise, the more relaxed you become, the easier you can meditate. One key concept I learned from the Jains is relaxation and letting go. This is vital to understand your true nature and improve your health. The body is always talking to you, except you're so busy and uninterested in what wisdom is saying. Never force yourself and try to prove to others. This is not a competition. Slow down. Listen to your body. Breathe. There is a power behind your breath that is keeping you alive. Behind this breath lies your true nature. The more you pay attention to it, the more it pays attention to you. In the beginning, it may take you 1 hour to sink in and feel the source of love. After some time and practice, when you close your eyes, you are already there. Asanas and meditation go hand in hand. Practicing asanas is a physical way to become one with nature and your true self. It helps to bring balance and harmony to your mind, body, and soul connection. The disease occurs when the mind and body are out of balance. Most people use Western medicine to try to heal themselves. Their doctors prescribe it to them. Yet all Western medicine has side effects. It simply hides the symptoms. The disease becomes more chronic. Your human body has the intelligence and wisdom to heal. As I said, you are your own chemistry set. It is up to you what chemicals you release into your brain. Unfortunately, this is not taught in schools. Even one hears about this. The majority of people don't want to change for the better. This is the paradox in life. We want true happiness. Yet, when it comes our way, we ignore it. This is Maya, or illusion, placing the spell over us. It's like a wise man understands that when watching a movie in a movie theater, that is simply light creating images on a screen. The wise man can turn his head backwards and see light streaming from a projector. The Jain and many others understood the oneness of all life. They knew how to connect to their true nature. This is solely needed today. The ancient yogis understood that if the body is restless and agitated, the mind will be. If the body and mind are agitated, good luck in trying to meditate. The mind, body, and soul connection is an intricate part of your life. Yet humanity can't see the forest from the trees. Meditation. Meditation is the foundation for life. One famous teacher once said that the definition of meditation is perfect concentration upon a perfect point. The Jains discovered how to live in a constant, continuous state of awareness. Over thousands of years, they fine-tuned these meditation techniques. Many of them are the same that was taught thousands of years ago. I love to meditate. This wasn't a meditation course per se, yet the emphasis was to live in this state of awareness in your daily life. Mind you, this was only step one that was taught. This was the beginner's class. They have many other levels or classes that they teach. Even step one was highly defined. All the class topics had the underlying meaning to be conscious and aware. For example, doing yoga asanas to get the greatest benefit, one must slow down and be in a state of awareness. The more one lives in that state consciously, the more benefits comes from your asana practice. The same goes for pranayama. Without being conscious and aware, these are just breathing techniques. One will just get bored and give up. In the beginning, everyone must go through this. Nobody gets a free ride. Nobody will drive the car for you. That's why it's called free will. Yet these classes provide the most comprehensive sorts of knowledge under one umbrella. You can find this information on the internet, yet the wisdom might be dubious. Both of these Jain teachers have studied and practiced what works. This is not an English class. This is a class where the individual can fine-tune the guitar of life in all areas of life. I love to meditate. Always have, always will. I'm constantly growing and learning. I was the only non-Indian taking the class. I was amazed by how my thoughts, beliefs, and spiritual practice were in complete alignment with theirs. I'm looking forward to the next incredible step on this journey. Chakras. In the West, many people make fun when they hear the word chakras. The movie industry is notorious for making fun of it. Yet the Jains have made this an intricate part of their spiritual practice. For many years, I understood the principles, yet it was just theory. About 10 years ago, I was researching chakras and discovered the world of Joe Dispenza. Joe Dispenza is a neuroscientist. He has been studying the mind, body, and soul connection. He believes, and I believe, that energy medicine is the wave of the future. The Jains believed in the inner drugstore for thousands of years. Yet in the West, it's only been in the past 30 years. This has been slightly embraced by the medical establishment. Dr. Joe utilizes chakras meditation in his work. He doesn't use the word chakras, he uses the word energy centers. Once again, he knows the West can't relate to chakras. I have a saying, the more you pay attention to something, the more it pays attention to you. For example, these energy systems are an intricate part of the human body. You wouldn't be alive if they malfunction. Some mediums can read your auric field and predict when you might die. For the past years, I've been focusing on these centers. My experience is that we are made up of infinite energy, and the physical body is only a minute layer of physicality. In other words, we are the universe walking around in a human body. I usually spend about 2 hours in my sleep focusing on my chakras. There's an energetic field that we all enter to when we go to sleep. Sleep allows the human body to recharge and heal itself. Yet, many people think that going to bed is a drag. Imagine focusing on your chakras and being in that same sleep state and being aware. There are infinite love and compassion keeping you alive. Each chakra relates to a specific part of the endocrine system. By focusing on them, the entire endocrine system is being balanced and healed. All disease is created by unhealthy lifestyles. No wonder that James talked about the chakras. Many scientists know that disease first gets created in our chakras, and over time it manifests in our human bodies. Scientists now have subtle instruments to prove this. Nikola Tesla said, "If you wish to understand the universe, think of energy, frequency, and vibration. It's our doubt and change in frequencies and our inability to hold thoughts and visions for extended time that takes us off our path." We still live in a Newtonian world. The quantum theory has been around for over 100 years, yet we can't see the forest from the trees. I find it fascinating that the ancient yogis not only understood these subtle principles, yet it was the foundation of their lives. This is our true nature, yet we are oblivious to it. Our first step must be to develop our free will to embark on this incredible journey. The change will only occur when you pay attention inside of you. This is an infinite journey. One always will fine-tune the guitar of life. Even when one has meditated for 1,000,000,000 years, you can never rest on your laurels. Even in that state, it's one small step after another. This journey is infinite. When I was in India many years ago, I heard this song. Someone has a jewel in their hand and doesn't know how precious it is. We have this precious human body, yet we have no idea of our magnificence. Acupressure. I wrote the following in my book, Dragon Tales. This book is a children's story about the ultimate transformation of society. I wrote a chapter based upon my dear friend David, an acupuncturist. David the dragon uses simple English to describe how it works. The East has been thousands of years ahead of us in the West in discovering these subtle energies inside of us. For them, it was clear as day. It wasn't just a fancy theory, but a moment-by-moment experience of the river of life inside of us.
David the dragon. Hi, I'm David the dragon. I'm best of friends with Builder Ricky. You read about me in the story. I'm over 5,000 years old. I'm still young at heart. You see, I take care of myself. Where I come from, the British Isles, the dragons really didn't have any common sense. You could say common sense is uncommon. Where I come from, the dragons didn't exercise or eat good foods. They partied all throughout the night. To be frank, they didn't have a clue about universal laws. They were only interested in acquiring stolen treasure and fighting. Boy, what kind of existence is that? When we flew from the west to the east, our entire lifestyle changed for the better. We started to take a look at how to make a better life for the dragons. As you see, only young dragons came with us. The rest were stuck in their old ways. Quite frankly, they had no desire to change. They liked misery. Well, we decided to have a grand adventure. We learned how to meditate from Zorak, and the rest is history. We learned very young that life is an external and internal adventure. Bet you nobody told you that. We came to a point where we could see energy all around us and in us. That there was a block over time, disease would take place. You see, in the bodies of humans and dragons lie a vast number of rivers and streams. In a healthy body, these rivers and streams are flowing properly. But the more ones have a life out of balance, these rivers and streams get clogged up and don't flow properly. The water over time becomes stagnant and mosquitoes can fester. This is where disease manifests. Here's an example of anger. When a person is always angry, this blocks the rivers and streams inside the body. Over time, the body becomes angry and can fight against itself. You call this cancer. Cancer is angry cells. We discovered a long time ago that by using needles at a certain point on the body, we can begin to unblock the rivers and streams. Yet the acupuncturists can help to unblock these dams. Yet it's up to you to change, modify, and learn how to be healthy. In the West, you go to a doctor and take the medicine. Your symptoms go away. Your drugs have side effects. The patient takes no responsibility. No wonder your system is messed up. A wise person begins to listen within and change accordingly. This person realizes that proper rest is the key. In the West, sleep and rest is sort of a nuisance. They don't have the understanding of how important it is. In order for the body to heal and repair, it needs rest. Period. We live such a fast pace, we have forgotten why we need sleep and rest in the first place. The acupuncture during this time had an easy job. He knew how to break the dam and let the waters flow properly. He might give some healing herbs to the child. The child understood completely that the acupuncturist could only assist so far in the process. She knew that it was up to her to follow through and live day by day the natural laws of life. You see, their culture was understanding and practicing every moment these natural laws. Unfortunately, in our world, today's man has lost touch with his true nature. Consequently, disease is quite common. Our herbs that are given out are organic and have no side effects. They're extremely beneficial in helping the body to balance. Your Western medicine has extreme side effects and can cause death. Listen to the commercials today, and you will hear a lovely voice telling all the side effects the drugs have. They are concerned to make a profit. That is the bottom line. No, kids, listen to this story. Only your generation can change this wacky system. You can look at different and natural ways. You can see chemicals are the least effective ways for healing. Their scientists know about energy, but at the present moment, only a few doctors are researching about the power of energy. This is where acupuncture comes in. In the future, there will be myriads of different discoveries and inventions. The more a society becomes more aware, the more the discoveries can occur. You see, only in an open society can change occur for the better. These new discoveries can be used for good, or they can be a complete disaster. The nuclear bomb is a prime example. The genie got loose, and now the world is trying to find out how to rein in the genie. You see, your world has a lot to learn. Imagine most of the world is looking externally, but the jewel lies within. You need a balance between the external and internal. Millions of people are waking up to this fact. At a certain point in time, when humanity truly understands this, your inventions will be so-called a miracle in life. In fact, they aren't miracles in life, but your understanding is at a different level. Your cell phone would be considered a gift from God 500 years ago. I bet each one of you kids knows how to operate one. You have no problems with that. In the same way, the more you understand the laws of the universe, more incredible inventions will come your way. Nature wants to give her incredible gifts, but you have to be in sync to receive them. Anger, war, greed will never be the way to discover these gifts. For thousands of years, war is not the answer. It has never solved anything and never will. Only the kids can truly change for the better. Hopefully you will listen to this story and remember your generation can change for the better. The seeds have been planted many millions of years ago. You can be the fruit that can change this world. Remember, you are never alone. Someday you will realize this. You will see that all of humanity and the dragons are in the same boat together. You are the universe. You just don't know it. David, the dragon. Hi, I'm David, the dragon. I'm best of friends with Builder Ricky. You read about me in the story. I'm over 5,000 years old. I'm still young at heart. You see, I take care of myself. Where I come from, the British Isles, the dragons really didn't have any common sense. You could say common sense is uncommon. Where I come from, the dragons didn't exercise or eat good foods. They partied all throughout the night. To be frank, they didn't have a clue about universal laws. They were only interested in acquiring stolen treasure and fighting. Boy, what kind of existence is that? When we flew from the west to the east, our entire lifestyle changed for the better. We started to take a look at how to make a better life for the dragons. As you see, only young dragons came with us. The rest were stuck in their old ways. Quite frankly, they had no desire to change. They liked misery. Well, we decided to have a grand adventure. We learned how to meditate in Zoran, and the rest is history. We learned very young that life is an external and internal adventure. Bet you nobody told you that. We came to a point where we could see energy all around us and in us, that there was a block over time. Disease would take place. You see, in the bodies of humans and dragons lie a vast number of rivers and streams. In a healthy body, these rivers and streams are flowing properly. But the more ones have a life out of balance, these rivers and streams get clogged up and don't flow properly. The water over time becomes stagnant and mosquitoes can fester. This is where disease manifests. Here's an example of anger. When a person is always angry, this blocks the rivers and streams inside the body. Over time, the body becomes angry and can fight against itself. You call this cancer. Cancer is angry cells. We discovered a long time ago that by using needles at a certain point on the body, we can begin to block the rivers and streams. Yet the acupuncturist can help to unblock these dams. Yet it's up to you to change, modify, and learn how to be healthy. In the West, you go to a doctor and take the medicine. Your symptoms go away. Your drugs have side effects. The patient takes no responsibility. No wonder your system is messed up. A wise person begins to listen within and change accordingly. This person realizes that proper rest is the key. In the West, sleep and rest is sort of a nuisance. They don't have the understanding of how important it is. In order for the body to heal and repair, it needs rest. Period. We live such a fast pace, we have forgotten why we need sleep and rest in the first place. The acupuncture during this time had an easy job. He knew how to break the dam and let the waters flow properly. He might give some healing herbs to the child. The child understood completely that the acupuncturist could only assist so far in the process. She knew that it was up to her to follow through and live day by day the natural laws of life. You see, their culture was understanding and practicing every moment these natural laws. Unfortunately, in our world, today's man has lost touch with his true nature. Consequently, disease is quite common. Our herbs that are given out are organic and have no side effects. They're extremely beneficial in helping the body to balance. Your Western medicine has extreme side effects and can cause death. Listen to the commercials today and you will hear a lovely voice telling all the side effects that drugs have. They are concerned to make a profit. That is the bottom line. No, kids, listen to this story. Only your generation can change this wacky system. You can look at different and natural ways. You can see chemicals are the least effective ways for healing. There's scientists know about energy, but at the present moment, only a few doctors are researching about the power of energy. This is where acupuncture comes in. In the future, there will be myriads of different discoveries and inventions. The more a society becomes more aware, the more the discoveries can occur. You see, only in an open society can change occur for the better. These new discoveries can be used for good. or they can be a complete disaster. The nuclear bomb is a prime example. The genie got loose, and now the world is trying to find out how to rein in the genie. You see, your world has a lot to learn. Imagine most of the world is looking externally, but the jewel lies within. You need a balance between the external and internal. Millions of people are waking up to this fact. At a certain point in time, when humanity truly understands this, your inventions will be so-called a miracle in life. In fact, they aren't miracles in life, but your understanding is at a different level. Your cell phone would be considered a gift from God 500 years ago. I bet each one of you kids knows how to operate one. You have no problems with that. In the same way, the more you understand the laws of the universe, more incredible inventions will come your way. Nature wants to give her incredible gifts, but you have to be in sync to receive them. Anger, war, and greed will never be the way to discover these gifts. For thousands of years, war is not the answer. It has never solved anything and never will. Only the kids can truly change for the better. Hopefully, you will listen to this story and remember your generation can change for the better. The seeds have been planted many millions of years ago. You can be the fruit that can change this world. Remember, you are never alone. Someday you will realize this. You will see that all of humanity and the dragons are in the same boat together. You are the universe. You just don't know it.
Mantras. The Jains have used mantras for thousands of years. Imagine a tuning fork. A tuning fork vibrates at the frequency of whatever it touches. The mind is a tuning fork. The ancient Jain masters learned to pay attention to nature, and by meditating, there are sacred sounds that exist inside of us. Only through silence can one hear these sounds. Yes, that is a paradox. In silence lies all the sacred sounds of the universe. By repeating these sounds, and over time, by listening to these sacred sounds within, the mind becomes in harmony. The mind sinks just like modern-day radar upon a flying object. The mind automatically sinks into the sound, and all troubles disappear. Mind you, this takes time, yet an understanding of the process helps one on this journey. There is a vast storehouse of mantras out there. What is needed is clarity or the practical knowledge of the effects they have on the mind, body, and soul connection. Sound can heal and does heal. Once again, the basic principle comes to mind. The more you pay attention to something, the more it pays attention to you. This works good or bad. While in India many moons ago, I heard this phrase, "Tell me who you associate your free time with, and I will tell you who you are." Satsang means the company of truth, yet our society and the world at large lives their lives oblivious to the sacred wisdom within. The entire universe is alive and is vibrating. Any vibration has a sound frequency stemming from it. The ancients discovered and listened to these universal mantras or sounds. They exist right now, yet mankind is so busy looking externally to live their precious lives. Sound is one of the greatest healing ways to heal the mind and body. Human anatomy. I'm sure that all of us had a human anatomy class before. In this section, one learns how precious this human body is. One learns whether you like it or not, but every action you take has a good or not so good consequence. Many people love to smoke but don't want to give it up. Years later, a serious disease comes along. We create our diseases through our lifestyles. Many people think that my DNA controls my destiny. Yet Dr. Bruce Lipton discovered in the 1960s that our environment is the major factor, not the DNA. The DNA is only a factor in probably 5% of the cases. A person's lifestyle is a major factor. We are our own doctors. Now, I'm not saying don't go to a doctor. What I'm saying is you must change your lifestyle and habits. Nobody can do it for you. Western medicine will only take away your symptoms so you can feel better. It will not go to the root and cure you. Only by balancing the mind, body, and soul connection can one heal. By understanding human anatomy, one begins to learn how to be in balance with nature. When one takes healthy steps to enable the human body to be in harmony with nature. Note, I said being in harmony with nature. We are oblivious to the laws of nature. Our lifestyles are out of sync with nature. No wonder humanity is in such a huge mess. Common sense is uncommon. Both Premalachi and Priyachi had the same message. Only you can change. Nobody will do it for you. Seed therapy. I thought that I knew all about the various kinds of healing modalities. Yet from this class, I learned about seed therapy. Seeds contain wisdom and knowledge. Imagine a huge sequoia tree. From one small seed, a magnificent tree is born. It can live over a couple of thousands of years. All the potential energy is contained within the seed. The great healers of yesterday understood this principle. Seed therapy is a way to put seeds on certain acupuncture points to either turn on or off the channels to a specific organ. All the wisdom is contained within the seed. The seed is a part of nature. We are a part of our nature. Our present-day lifestyle is not following the laws of nature. In my eyes, this is energetic medicine at its finest. Note, most of us have more faith in allopathic medicine than nature itself. And that is quite interesting. Most people would laugh when they listen to the power of a seed healing a particular disease. Tell that to an ancient sequoia tree that's been around for a couple of thousand years. Many times, the simplest of things is the most powerful. Take your breath. It's so simple, you breathe unconsciously. Yet, take away your breath, and you will die within minutes. I have yet to explore this wisdom yet. Exciting times are ahead of us. Mudra healing. I always heard about mudras. Mudra means seal, gesture, or mark. Yoga mudras are symbolic gestures, often practiced with the hands and fingers. They facilitate the flow of energy in the subtle body and enhances one journeys within. In this class, over 20 mudras were shown. Each mudra has a special effect. I'm at the beginning stage of learning more. From my observation and experience, mudras work on our internal electrical system. The ancient ones discovered through meditation that the hands contain the electrical system just like a junction box does. One can learn how to turn on or off these signals. This is another example of energy healing, an old yet new healing modality. In the future, all medicine will incorporate these healing modalities. Western science will learn the power of the quantum field to heal. Presently, the majority of mankind rolls their eyes when hearing such a thing. The ancients discovered this thousands of years ago. A new way of healing is coming around the corner. You are your own drugstore. You have been hardwired and you have the software to heal yourself. Rogue Anusar Yogi. The following came from Yogapedia. Definition. What does Anusar Yoga mean? Anusar Yoga is a modern school of Hatha Yoga founded by John Friend, an American yogi. From Sanskrit, Anu means with, and Sara means flow. Therefore, Anusar may be translated as flowing with grace or natural state. Named an Ansara school of Hatha Yoga and popularly known as Ansara Yoga, the ideology of the school is focused on tantric philosophies of intrinsic goodness. Yogapedia explains Ansara Yoga, a student first and later a teacher of Ayurveda Yoga. John Friend founded Ansara Yoga in 1997. The ultimate aim of the school is to align oneself with the divine. Drawing inspiration from Iyengar Yoga, Friend developed his own style, which immediately attracted followers from the West due to the Western approach to the conventional art. The principal aspects of Anusar Yoga are unifying principles of alignment, connecting all asanas to the physiological practice of Anusar, which involves the shifting of focus from perfecting a pose to enhancing the goodness and beauty that already exists in the student. The 3 A's. These are attitude, alignment, and action. The attitude is to reawaken the divine within the self. Alignment is being aware of how the different parts of the body are interconnected. Action refers to the natural flow of energy in the body. Focal points. The alignment principles and Anusar talks about 3 focal points, namely the pelvic focal point, heart focal point, and the upper palate focal point. Energy loops. The 7 energy loops of Ansar are ankle loop, shin loop, thigh loop, pelvic loop, kidney loop, shoulder loop, and skull loop. Saptu, Dhatu, 7 tissues. According to Ayurveda, the human body is primarily made up of Sapta Dhatu. Sapta Dhatu is a Sanskrit word which means 7 constitutional elements. Sapta equals 7, Dhatu equals tissues. These 7 tissues are responsible for the entire structure of the body. The Dhatu maintains the functioning of each different system's organ and vital parts of the body, and plays a significant role in the development and nourishing of the body. The Dhatus are also part of the body's protective mechanism. With the help of Agni, fire, they are responsible for the immune process. Each tissue, or Dhatu, is primarily governed by one of the Trishokas, Yata, Pitta, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. When one Dhatu is defective, it affects the successive Dhatu as each Dhatu receives its nourishment from the Dhatu preceding it. The 7 most important Dhatus are presented here in serial order. Rasa, plasma, which is the first Dhatu which contains nutrients and minerals from digested food and which nourishes and replenishes all the tissues and organs. Rata, blood, which transports oxygen to all tissues and vital organs and maintains life. Mamsa, muscle, which covers the delicate vital organs and enable movements of bones and joints and maintains the physical capacity and strength of the body. Meta, adipose tissue, maintains the lubrication and oiliness of all the tissues. Asti, bones and cartilage, give support to the body's structure. Maja, bone marrow, fills up the bony spaces. Shukla, which are the reproductive tissues responsible for reproduction. Sperm in males and ova in females. Any disease where Vata, Pitta, Kapha are involved, the Vedic doshas directly affect the Dhastus. With insight into the governing dosha, the cause of a disease, Dhatu is accurately determined. The disturbed dosha, Vata, Pitta, or Kapha, and improper Dhatus are always directly involved in the disease process. Once the root cause of the disease is known, the corresponding therapies are used to balance the system through reducing the excess elements and increasing the deficient ones. Balance of the Dhatus can be maintained by taking steps to keep the trio doshas in balance through a proper diet, exercise, and recovery program. Detox, diet, and others. Principles of a healthy diet and lifestyle. Try to eat only organic food. Preservatives and modern-day pesticides are extremely harmful. There is a reason why they wear protective gear, yet we think it's safe to eat. Try to eat 80% raw and 20% cooked food. Most of your food should be alkaline. The Western diet is mostly acidic. Stop drinking sodas. All sodas contain a huge amount of sugars and carbon dioxide. Remember, we breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide. My track coach in high school said he would rather us to drink beer than soda. Soda is extremely harmful to the body. Limit your alcohol if you could stop drinking alcohol. Your liver and body will love you for doing this. Drink plenty of water. You should eat your water and drink your food. Try to eat seasonal foods for your particular season and area. Listen to your body. It will tell you what it needs. If you're coming down with a cold, go to bed early. This will stop you from catching a cold. I do this several times a year. My body loves me for listening to it. The body talks to you all the time. We just have deaf ears. Meditate every day. Learn to love it. Yes, it takes practice. Perform pranayama every day. It will help you fine-tune your body. Breathe through your nose, not your mouth. Learn to exercise that way. Remember that breathing through your mouth is called the breath of death. Do yoga every day. Do some kind of a cardiac exercise. I love to swim. During this pandemic, I don't have the opportunity. Monitor your thoughts and emotions. Remember, when you get angry, you are drinking your own poison. You are your own master chemist. Only you can change for the better. Nobody can do it for you. Learn how to program your subconscious. Over 90% of your actions are governed by this. You have the hardware and software built in to do this. Focus on your breath moment by moment. The entire universe is keeping you alive. Remember, the more you pay attention to something, the more attention it pays to you. It goes with the breath. Pay attention to your chakras and energy centers. They will help you balance your body. Limit social media. It was designed to hook you and make you addicted. Watch the movie The Social Dilemma. Listen to music that nurtures the soul. Don't get involved in gossip. Speak the truth. Be kind to everyone. Respect all people. Be nonviolent in your words, deeds, and actions. If you can't, stop eating meat of any kind. Don't microwave your food. You're destroying the necessary enzymes. Take a walk in nature every day. Relax in each and every moment. Slow down. Be in the moment. As Bugs Bunny once said, don't take life so seriously. You will never get out of it alive. Eat only fresh foods. Don't eat junk food of any kind. Remember, your body is a temple. Spend time in nature. Learn to listen to nature. Nature is always speaking wisdom, yet we don't hear it. Don't watch so much TV. If you can, don't use Western drugs. Change your lifestyle accordingly. Always learn greater wisdom. You will always fine-tune the guitar of life. Love your fellow man. Don't judge your fellow man. Be tolerant of others. Do your job to make this planet a better place. Remember that anything external will change. Nothing is permanent except for your true self. Strive to be happy internally, and you will. Go to bed early. Listen to your body rhythms. Some people can go to bed later. Just listen to your body. It will tell you what to do. Remember, food is medicine. Therefore, eat your food with discretion. One man's food may be another man's poison. Each one of us is custom designed. What works for one will not work for another. Try to eat your meals in a certain window of time. I try to eat between 10 in the morning and my dinner around 5 to 6 o'clock. This allows a 16-hour window for the body to balance itself. Learn about fasting. Your digestive system needs rest. Don't drink water before going to bed. Your body has certain healing procedures it will do. Try to not eat after the sun goes down. This is following the laws of nature. Don't be a workaholic. Balance your life. I tell prospective employers, I didn't come down to earth solely to work. The more you work overtime, the less quality work you will perform, and the more error-prone you will be. Love what you do. Don't just take a job for the money. You are worth more than that. Remember, most answers come when your body and mind are relaxed. If you're working on a problem, take a break, relax. Many of my answers come when I'm sleeping or taking a shower. Your ancestors are always with you. You are never alone. Meditation is the key to understand this. The entire world is your friend. Your enemies are only your petty state of mind. The biggest crime is not discovering your true nature while you are alive. You can heal yourself and be happy. Happiness and health is only a breath away. Don't look at the future and the past. Stay in the present moment. Remember, it's the only moment you have. Choose your words wisely. Remember what you think and say you become. Don't hold on to grudges. Let go. Be kind. Do not put off tomorrow what you can do today. Spend time with your kids. Laugh at life. Live in the center of the hurricane instead of the howling winds of the mind. This life is a video game. Know how to play it. Most people are stuck on one level. If life is a bowl of cherries, why are we living in the pits?
Ritu Jaya Seasons. If you live in New York City, would you eat a lot of fruit during the winter? Would you eat a lot of salads for dinner? Most of us are oblivious to the changes in nature. Our human bodies were designed to follow natural laws. Mind you, each place on Earth is different and unique. Each place has different kinds of seasons and weather patterns. The wise man understands this and eats only food that supports this particular season. It changes depending on where you live. Why eating seasonal is important. Each season has a different effect on our bodies. Imagine for a moment taking a big bite of ice cream while you're bundled up in scarves and mittens on a winter's walk in January. Not very pleasant, right? What about eating a hot bowl of barley soup while you're lounging poolside on a sweltering August day? Pretty unappetizing. There's a reason why your body reacts to these images. Different types of food help your body get back into balance during different times of the year. Acting against those natural inclinations can actually harm you both inside and out.
When you're out of sync with nature, even if you eat an otherwise healthy diet, the consequences can include a compromised immune system, unhealthy weight gain or loss, poor skin and hair quality, and even an increased risk of more serious illnesses. Eating Ayurvedically in accordance with the season doesn't just make you feel good in the moment, but is a powerful preventative health measure too. In Ayurvedic thought, each of us embodies a dominant natural constitution, either Vata, Pitta, or Kapha, or a combination of any of the above. Vata types are ruled by the qualities of air and space. Pitta types are ruled by fire and water, and Kapha types are ruled by water and earth. Each season pacifies or ignites these energies within us, meaning that our system can be thrown out of balance if we don't take measures to adapt our bodies to the weather. Luckily, Ayurvedic lays out a set of seasonal guidelines known as Rutucharya, with Rutu translating to season and Charya translating to guidelines. These guidelines serve as prescriptions for diet and lifestyle changes throughout the year, including Ayurvedic detox treatments that help us clear in our minds, fulfilled in our spirits, and vibrant in our bodies. According to Ayurvedic, the year is divided into two periods, each containing 3 seasons. Uttayana, the cold months, which contains the seasons of Sharad, Hemanta, and Shishira, and Dakshinaya, the warm months, which contains the season of Basanta, Grishma, and Varsha. Tumo and Tantra. Over 40 years ago, I heard about this ancient practice. There would be stories with pictures of Buddhists sitting in the snow with wet sheets around them, and they would completely dry them off. The first thing that came to my mind was, why not just use a dryer? It would take no more than 30 minutes to dry. There are an infinite amount of powers that one can acquire along the way. I thought, how would it be if they used the power of compassion to do this? Years later, after listening to Lama Glenn, I understood that the foundation of Tumo is compassion. In fact, to evolve as human beings, compassion is the essence. Lama Glenn explained in his 2-hour seminar many things that helped me refine my understanding of Tibetan Buddhism. My vision and understanding were greatly magnified. I look back at how my life has been in sync with the Buddha. Our house is like a Buddhist temple. We have Buddhist statues, Kuan Yin statues scattered throughout the house. My spiritual practice follows the ancient guidelines that Buddha taught about. Lama Glenn helped me to understand the experiences I have had for the past 50 years and translate them into the Buddhist understanding. Mind you, this is only by listening to a 2-hour seminar. Lama Glenn is going to present a 16-week course on this subject. I already got my money's worth just by his YouTube seminar. According to Milarepa, Tumo is the basic for the 6 yogas. The 6 yogas are Tumo, illusionary body, clear light, dream yoga, Bardo yoga, and Pova. The Buddhists have a book called Crystal Clear. I read this book around 2001. Crystal clear is a state of utter formlessness. It is how to bring infinite radiance, stillness, and formlessness into everyday life. my understanding of crystal clear is probably the merging of Buddhist thought and the current understanding of the quantum field. Both are talking about the same thing. Read some of my books and you will see this theme presented in many ways. Lama Glenn said that the human experiences the essence of Tantra in three ways naturally. Every night when we go to sleep, one who's aware can capture a snapshot of the clear primordial mind. Making love is another way. The orgasm can lead to clear light radiance if one is aware. Meditation is another way. All three can be awakened within oneself. When one is sitting on the meditation cushion, when one goes to sleep, called clear light asleep yoga. The last is the clear light of death when one dies. These states are the fallen, awake, dreaming, and death. Tummo is the basic for the meditation practice. It brings infinite radiance, stillness, and formless into everyday life. The ultimate state is elusive, non-physicality, a clear mind, clear sight. Glenn says there is an infinite me, yet all forms disappear. According to Lama Glenn, one learns how to lean towards form in everyday life and at the same time lead to the elusive non-physicality, clear mind, clear sight. The Kabbalistic calls these states feet on the ground and the head in heaven. One can sit and meditate and only have the five inner senses activate when one enters the clear mind, clear light state. Coming back to the internal senses, one activates the external senses. The goal is to harmonize the two. The philosophy of Tantra says we exist simultaneously on three dimensions: coarse, subtle, and very subtle. Ordinary life is coarse. It consists of our minds and bodies. Everyday life is a part of this. External stimuli create internal experiences in the brain. At the coarse level, everything is experienced in duality. When one tries to meditate for the first time, one brings to the table a coarse mind, a mind that has been conditioned externally. Our body and state of mind creates various chemicals to reflect our state of being. The Buddhists have known this for thousands of years. Only recently has Western scientists embraced this concept and proven it over and over again. Dr. Joe Dispenza is at the forefront of this. The Dalai Lama has each year a conference with scientists from all around the world. This has been going on since the 80s. They have been studying the mind-body connection in the lab ever since. These are called by the Buddhists psychoneurology immune systems. Behind this loud noise lies the subtle body. Our minds and bodies are like tuning forks. We only vibrate at the frequency, the current state of mind and body. Here's an example of being out of balance. In my junior year, my parents took our family to Yosemite. It's probably one of the most incredible places on the planet. Yet I couldn't see the forest from the trees. I was miserable. Why? Because I missed the ocean. Now that is being out of balance. One can be in a heavenly place, and the subtle mind can be out of whack and cause suffering due to the state of mind. Your mental state creates the emotional state of your being. These disturbances are felt in the heart and thyroid. This is called subtle chemistry. The conscious mind and the subconscious mind are the two which control the chemistry. Remember, the subconscious mind controls 95% of our actions. Only 5% is conscious. I find it interesting that Carl Jung was familiar with Buddhist philosophy. I'm sure that much of his understanding came from that. Lama Glenn also believes in this. When one can stop the heart consciously and stop the physical functions, one enters the state of the timeless zone. The Buddhists are trained in breath retention. Tumo is the process of holding your breath and sending it to the heart. Then pure alchemy occurs and the higher chemicals are secreted into the body. According to Lama Glenn, by bringing all the energies to the heart, we become like a one-cell being. Arising from that brings the most subtle mind to be activated. Most of humanity lives in dense bodies. Need I say more? Look at the world today. Furthermore, Lama Glenn said, don't believe anything externally that's in the shape of an outside appearance. It's all illusionary. The biggest obstacles is to overcome the attachment to the ordinary appearance of things. This is called Maya, the great illusion. Talk to a quantum scientist and they will tell you about the quantum field. This has been proven over 100 years ago, yet we still live in the Newtonian model. At the next level, we try to manipulate these drops of chemicals to our advantage. In the beginning, we work with the four principal chakras, the navel chakra, heart chakra, throat chakra, and the center of the brain chakra. These chakras help speed up the evolutional process. The Tantra states that one day of meditating in this state is equivalent to 100 years of normal evolution. Paramahansa Yogananda said the same thing with Kriya Yoga. Anyway, there are scientific practices that can speed up this practice. The basic of the Tantra practice is to go from gross mind to the subtle mind and ultimately to the very subtle mind. Tumo, illusionary body, and clear light is the process to take you from the gross, subtle, and very subtle bodies. One achieves enlightenment by these three practices of yoga. Tumo energy always starts with physical exercises. There are 6 main exercises. First one is similar to pranayama. They do this because most humans are shallow breathers. The purpose is to harmonize the male and female energies. This is the same concept of harmonizing the Ida and the Pingala nerves. These breathing exercises are done 3 times. When you do this, both nostrils should be balanced. If not, repeat the 3 rounds. Note for further explanation on taking the class. One should always do this before doing Tumo. During Tumo, one day does fast breathing through the nose. According to Lama Glenn's instructions, breathe in through the nose, swallow if you want. This will put the abdomen in the correct position. Hold for 45 seconds, relax, and slowly exhale the breath through the nostrils. Do this for around 10 minutes. Then do the same by rotating your abdomen clockwise and counterclockwise 3 times each. This is vitalizing your external organs. You're rotating the entire solar plexus regions. Do this without moving your backbone or shoulders. Remember to press down and pull up. This massages the gallbladder, pancreas, kidneys, and other vital organs. It is very good for digestion. Do the same, but push the stomach out and in. This is arising the fire energies. It also helps with the internal organs. No, don't read this book and try to do the exercises. You must learn from a qualified teacher. I'm just a mere beginner like you. Tumo means fierce woman. The digestive system is the system of the fire element. Did you know that there's a junction box with 72,000 nadis or energy channels that are wild there?
wired there. It's not physical, yet it's real. Someday in the future, scientists will develop instruments which shows this. The acupuncturists of today know about this, along with the Taoists, yogis, lamas, and Jains. In Tantra, sexual energy is the purest and primitive energy. Our brain energies are the most impure because of the condition of our external stimuli, state of mind, and body. According to Lama Glenn, by rising this sexual energy, our neural system is heightened by this gear energy. There are 108 exercises, but only 6 are needed. Lama Glenn's favorite exercises is look at 1:48:51 in the YouTube video. This is somewhat complicated. It just needs daily practice.